Hey guys, so I know it's been a while since I made my last video, but it's been around what 2 weeks since I made my last video, and I've been watching a lot of Vampire Diaries, and of course I never miss an episode. And the last um, episode was it was yesterday, and so episode 2 of season 4, which was named Memorial, which was basically a mostly about the death of Pastor Young and the death of the council. Now, even though in the show everybody thinks that they were killed by some kind of accident, or I don't know, someone maybe killed them, but us, the viewers, know perfectly well that the pastor went crazy, or he was a crazy pastor already, and he pulled the plug on the oven and blew everybody up. So basically, since then, the city is holding a memorial for the council, the pastor, and in this episode, basically Elena tries to cope with the highs and lows of being a vampire. This is all new to her. She doesn't know how to act. She doesn't know she still doesn't know how to act in public. She still doesn't have that restraint that obviously Caroline and Tyler have. Now in this episode, there's a lot of fighting between Stefan and Damon about what's best for Elena. And on one hand, Stefan wants her to drink animal blood, and so she can survive. And by drinking the animal blood, she's not tempted to or pushed to the brink of killing somebody. As we saw from the third season, when Caroline was turned, she almost killed the nurse. When she was becoming a vampire, she almost killed the nurse. So I guess what Stefan is trying to do, he's trying to avoid that to happen to Elena, and he's also scared that she might turn into a Ripper, just like he was. So he's scared for her. He's really, he's trying to avoid a problem happening to her. He knows that if she goes there, the first thing she's gonna do is that she's gonna turn off her emotions, and she's gonna completely turn off her humanity, making it worse. She will become a Ripper, just like he did. He couldn't deal with the guilt, and so he turned off his humanity. On the other hand, then, if she does go over the edge, if Elena does go over the edge, she might not want to feel anything. She might close herself off and just completely neglect, just turn off her emotions. On the other hand, Damon, from the moment that Elena starts transitioning, he tells Stefan that he wants her to feed off the vein. He wants her to feed off people, and he wants to start off helping her with that, because that way she can learn how to be a vampire. She can learn how to live as a vampire, and that way she won't go off the edge. He basically wants to push her right off the edge. That way she can learn how to stand up on herself and control herself. But so that's how the argument starts between the two brothers. One wants her to just drink animal blood and live off of animal blood, and that way she won't have that temptation, and that she won't kill someone. But then Damon wants her to immediately start drinking off the vein, learn how to be a hunter, because vampires, even though they don't act like it so much in this show, they are hunters. They're predators. They have to feed. They have to hunt and feed, and just like Damon says, they have to hunt, feed, and maybe kill. But since Elena's most powerful characteristic is compassion and love, she doesn't want to kill anybody. I think that personally, I think Elena just has to not let go of herself, but kind of take off the chains and just feed off of people. Maybe after a while she'll learn to just drink off from blood bags, just like Stefan and Damon and Catherine did. But now, in her transition as a vampire, in her first step as a vampire, she needs to start drinking off the vein, from the vein. That's what I think. I think that she should just not let loose, but just give herself a little more time and to get used to being a vampire. She's still not used to being a vampire, and her emotions all over the place, and she's feeling guilt, and she's feeling sorrow, and she's mourning, and I think that there's in the near future, I think that Elena is going to eventually get used to it. She has to get used to it. There's no ifs or ands. I think that it's better than being a human blood bag that she was to Klaus. Klaus wanted to kidnap her and take her all over the world, but at the same time, he wanted to, pick her with a needle any chance he got, and get her blood to make more hybrids. Now, I think that's a better from picking from one of the two. I think it's better that she stays a vampire. She lives out her days as a vampire, and not be this personal blood bag to Klaus. So Stefan takes Elena out to the woods, and he starts training her and shows her how to feed on animals. And what happens is that there's some kind of reaction between the animal blood and the doppelganger blood that's still inside her system. There's no reference whether, and it doesn't show anywhere because I've looked, about Catherine's transition. All we see is her feeding off that old lady and just running away. There wasn't really an explanation about what happened to her, what was she going through, what happened with her and her doppelganger blood. But as we know, Catherine is an Elena, and Catherine had to and must have fed off the vein. So just like Damon says, she has to drink from the vein, and she has to get used to it. She has to get used to it. She doesn't have to kill anybody, but she has to survive, and the only way that she can survive for now is by drinking off the vein. Now, there's a memorial. There's a memorial being held for the council who died. The pastor's daughter, April, she shows up and she wants to, of course, she wants to mourn her father. She wants to talk about him in the funeral. And there's a scene where Elena goes over to help her and talk to her and make her feel better. And while she's talking to her, she starts feeling this. She starts feeling her hunger coming up, and she sees she looks down and she sees that April's arm, her vein on her arm and her vein on her neck, and she quickly just runs away. So she goes to the church bathroom, and immediately she starts vomiting up blood, all the blood that Damon had given her previously. She started vomiting it back up, and so she called Damon, and Damon came over to the church with a new dress because she had spilled all this blood all over her. Meanwhile, there was a new guy who also came to the Mystic Falls, and in the beginning of the episode, he comes to Carol's house, the mayor, Tyler's house, and basically forces himself in. And Tyler comes down to see who he is, and when they shake hands, I guess he was wearing some kind of vervain gloves, and Tyler reacted to it, and then he shot him, and then Tyler just ran away. So basically, there's a new vampire hunter in town, and he's there in the outside of the bathroom waiting for Elena to come out. And so Damien comes over with a new dress and a blood bag, and once Elena starts drinking off the blood bag, there's no go. She starts vomiting it back up. So Damon just thinks that maybe the vampire blood is, the human blood is not going. Her doppelganger blood is rejecting the blood, the human blood. So Tyler goes to Stefan's house, and Stefan takes out the bullets, the wooden bullets, and he notices that the bullets have some kind of writing on them, which he assumes which is magical writing. So he takes it to Bonnie's house. He comes in, and even though Bonnie's still kind of down from what happened with her grams, she helps him and tells him that the writing on the bullets are not magical, and that she doesn't know what those bullets mean, what the markings mean, that she's never seen them before. So while in the church, Connor kidnaps April, the pastor's daughter, and stabs her, ties her up in the balcony of the church, and so she starts bleeding to death, and immediately everybody starts smelling the blood. The first one that smells it is Caroline, and so Stefan tells her to not move, so nobody moves, because if they move, then he'll know that one of them is a vampire. So then Tyler goes up to the podium to talk about Pastor Young, and Connor shoots him with a wooden stake, and he falls back. So everybody just runs out of the church, and Elena goes to see April, and when she finds her, she's just full of blood everywhere, and she loses control and goes in and almost attacks her, but then Caroline steps in the way and stops her, calms her down, and tells her that she has to compel her to forget everything that happened, because it's terrible. So Elena calms down and compels April to forget everything that happened. And so now everybody has to figure out what this vampire hunter wants, what he's here for, and it seems as if he's not like a normal vampire hunter. He's very strong, he's fast, he looks like he's been trained in some way, and he has like all these tattoos on his arm. By the way, only Jeremy Gilbert can see the tattoos, which is kind of weird too. I think it has something to do with the fact that Jeremy can see dead people. So I think that maybe it has something to do with that. But there's a poster that I saw of Jeremy with the same markings on his arm. So I don't know if Jeremy's going to become a vampire hunter this season. I hope not. But from the poster, I don't know what to think. So anyway, guys, I'm going to be making another video for the next episode, which I haven't made because I'm kind of late on the videos, but I will be making one soon. So love you guys. Leave me some comments, subscribe, I don't know, let me know. Have a good day and take care. Bye.